Well, gentlemen, obviously, having two engineering firms here, there's a theme to this conversation, to this episode, and it is, of course, trying to talk a little bit about how important engineering is to the broadband development that we have going on, not just in Colorado and not just in the municipalities around here, but all across the United States. So, first of all, I'll ask the easy question: what are you guys most excited about being here at Mountain Connect?
Yeah, I think just, obviously socializing with, a lot of people that we work with, right? Look, trying to understand some of the new technologies that are out, in the industry and, trying to learn more, really, right? With our industry is ever evolving and so just trying to,
It's like broadband; it's getting faster, right?
yeah, it's getting faster. Oh, that is true. So, yeah, I mean, that's,
Yeah, and so for me, this is my first in-person event, broadband event, certainly to attend, post-pandemic. So it's great to get back out and kind of see the familiar faces and all those kinds of things. But probably what I'm most excited about just is this time and place in the industry. There's so much money being made available at all levels, local, state, and federal, to facilitate broadband deployments. So there's a real energy this year to the conference because, in past years it's always been like, well, what can we do? How can we pay for it? And now it's, we have the money, let's go build some stuff, and that energy is palpable.
Awesome. Well, obviously, you can have money, but you have to have a design and you have to have a network in order to deliver broadband, right?
That's
Which is
right.
why I'm no engineer, obviously, but engineering is critical to it. So let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit technical, right? So all the people that are getting the funding now, why is engineering so important to this process versus just like, hey, just go out there and I'm just going to just deploy the network however I can, the fastest I can, whether it be fiber, wireless, whatever. Why why should the municipalities and all the people, the recipients of the funding, why should they care about engineering?
It's a great question. I can go first.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it comes down, I think, to a matter of value. Just because there's an enormous amount of funds available via grants and whatnot, we still need to make sure that that money is spent efficiently. And so the value that proper engineering can bring to a project, um, you know, y- accurate estimation of what your cost and level of effort is going to be right out of the gate. Um, and that helps, every step of the way, whether you're a private entity who's trying to justify uh, from a business perspective whether or not it makes sense to do business in a certain community, or you're an elected official who's considering, putting an initiative on a ballot, to pay for it via bonds, or if you have to opt out of SB 152, having as much detailed information ahead of time on your costs, your construction schedule, um, all of those things can be really helpful. Not to mention, with everybody trying to build broadband, there are supply chain shortages to contend with, and so having your network designed and engineered in as detailed a way as possible, as early as possible in your project, can help make sure that you stay on track. You know how much you're going to spend. You have transparency to whoever your stakeholders are, and so on.
So all those things that were all the things to build the network are stuck on the ship that was it Evergreen that was blocked the Panama Canal. Yeah, that was
Suez Canal.
Suez Canal. All right.
Right.
Bryson, what do you think?
Yeah, so I guess, similar perspective, you know, really what drives what needs to be on the print is, the permitting agency. So, it's really identifying those needs up front, right? Because, that engineering starts that process, right? So if you don't understand all the requirements up front, what has to go on the print, then by the time you go through, the actual permit submittal and trying to get the project kicked off and going, a lot of times there'll be hurdles after the fact. So it's obviously super important early on, to really understand what type of project you're building, right? The jurisdictions that you're working with, and making sure that at the end of the day, the engineering print's constructible, right? And that the project can be done timely. And then I guess the other piece is just, understanding, what the, building more or less future-proofing the network, right? Like when you're engineering it, not just thinking about the needs today, but thinking about, the fiber optic needs that are going to be needed not just for tomorrow, but the future generations.